This episode of New Jersey Living is being filmed in Paramus, New Jersey. We are right now in Garden State Plaza, Westfield Mall, and this is obviously a feature spot. If you've seen some of my previous episodes, when you have a mall in town, that's generally a good thing because that generates a lot of commercial revenue. And commercial revenue is great when it comes to offsetting taxes. So that is going to be something notable here in Paramus. I'm just going to pan around just a little bit. I'm right by one of the entrances, right by Nordstrom. And flash up a quick picture of both the mall entrance and the Big Santa that's just outside of this entrance right here. But we are in that shopping season as we are only a week ahead of Thanksgiving at the time of recording right now. So with Paramus, Paramus is a high demand town. We're going to get into the big three in the next segment. So you'll get some details on what makes Paramus really high demand, highly popular with those that are looking for a really convenient New Jersey suburb that can get you into New York City. So the mall here, I mean, in my opinion, this is probably the feature shopping location in Bergen County. And just to clear up my last episode, we were in Edgewater, and I had mentioned that was our first Bergen. I was not thinking about Ridgewood, so we did Ridgewood a few months back. So Ridgewood was our first, Edgewater was our second Bergen. This is our third Bergen County episode here. So this would no doubt be the shopping hub for Bergen County. So all along Route 4 that leads directly into New York City towards the George Washington Bridge. That is a heavy shopping corridor in general. But the mall, there's shopping and retail on both sides of Route 4 right here, where I am right now at the location of the mall. So we're gonna take a little bit of walking footage, not much here in the mall, take a few shots, and then we'll make our way. We're gonna feature, I believe I do have 4 properties that we're gonna feature today, and we're gonna jump into a little bit more detail about Paramus in the next segment. So I'll see you there. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent here in New Jersey with Prestige Properties. My job is to bring content like this to viewers like you who are interested in learning about all things New Jersey. Specifically in my channel, New Jersey Living, we will cover the real estate market, social dining scenes, iconic locations, neighborhood footage, anything that there is to do with local neighborhood scenes throughout mostly central and northern New Jersey, the suburbs of New York City. So as I mentioned in the opening scene, we are here in Paramus at the Westfield Garden State Plaza Mall. Behind me, I think this is a really cool feature that they have. It's a rotating marquee that gives a lot of information about the mall and some advertising, what have you. You can see the Wakanda Forever is an AMC theater that's here. They're obviously advertising that. And I think it's just really cool. It's like this huge LED that just rotates and you can catch it at all angles. As I pan around, behind me is Macy's, which is one of the anchor stores here at the mall. And I would say pretty much every mall in North and Central Jersey, Macy's is going to be one of the anchor stores. So let's dive into Paramus. I'm going to jump right into the big three. So first, those who are new to the channel, welcome. Those Jersey hunters that have been with me all along, welcome back. Please do click like, subscribe, and the notification bell if this is your first time viewing, or maybe it's your second or third time viewing and you just haven't subscribed yet. So please do subscribe. We have a lot more great content coming your way. Paramus, jumping into the big three. Those who have been around for a while, you know I cover the real estate market of what has sold in the past 30 days. Just to keep things really recent. Right now, as I mentioned earlier, we're about a week before Thanksgiving, fall of 2022. We also are going to dive into the factors that make demand, that create demand in real estate. Paramus is going to be very unique with those three. Those three being proximity to the city, local train station, and schools. Starting right off the bat with schools, A-rated, very, very, very excellent school district. This is a location where you will find demand based on schools. The other factor, proximity to New York City, as I mentioned, we are directly on Route 4 that leads to the GW Bridge. So we're probably about maybe 7-8 miles from the GW, leads directly into Upper Manhattan. All right, so you'll be Upper Manhattan, Harlem on one side, Bronx is just a short trip down beyond from where the bridge is. So it's a very convenient driving commute proximity. So you get a check for schools, check for proximity. Now, train station, this is where it gets a little unique for Paramus. There are no local trains in Paramus. Paramus is about an 8 square mile township, relatively narrow north to south, more than east-west. There are train stations both east and west in towns next to, neighboring to Paramus. Oradell and River Edge on one side. You have Ridgewood that's neighboring as well. So there's definitely train stations nearby, but there's not a local train station. However, here at Garden State Plaza, there is a park and ride to catch the bus into the city. So for all intents and purposes, there is a very, very convenient commute to get into the city by mass transit. So because of the park and ride, I am going to give Paramus a check because I put it as an X for a train. It makes it seem as though there's not high demand here, and there absolutely is. All right, so that's a little bit about demand. The prices, of course, are going to reflect that. We are in Bergen County, and Bergen County is certainly one of the feature counties when it comes to a suburb to New York City, where a lot of people look for more of a suburban residential feel. Hudson County is directly across from Manhattan. That's still more of an urban setting, if you will. But Bergen is often that place where people will look for the various townships that offer a very nice, quiet suburb with excellent schools. It's hard to land in a place in Bergen County without excellent schools. All right, and you'll take note of that in some of our other locations that we'll dive into. So for today, I started at the mall just because it is a feature. It will be a factor in offsetting property taxes because there's a ton of revenue that's generated here in these type of, this is a huge mall. And the whole area is a general shopping area. This is not the only shopping mall. There's other smaller outlet and strip malls along the around the area. So yeah, there's just a lot of revenue that's generated, and that does help with property taxes, because relative to other towns in Bergen County, Paramus is very friendly on property taxes compared to some of the neighboring towns. So we're going to jump into our property tours, and stick around to the end because you're going to see certainly a very nice new construction build right here in town, and I think you'll really enjoy what you see today. So welcome aboard for those who are new again. Let's get it started now. Here we are at our first stop. We're at 571 Kenwood Road, and this property behind me, just pan up a little, get the full profile. It is a smaller colonial, 2-bedroom, 1 full bath with a garage. Listed at $549, sold at $540, and roughly about 2 weeks on the market. So it didn't last long. And in this market, as I've been saying in my last probably 6 to 8 episodes, a lot of properties are accepting offers that are close to ask. This obviously below ask, but we're in that market. So we're seeing homes like this one that was not newly renovated, not new construction obviously, but well maintained. Still, there's negotiating room. And that's unique to this market. So again, buyers who are still motivated to get into a property, you have more negotiating room, albeit with a higher mortgage rate. And with that being said, there was a drop, which was something that wasn't quite expected. But the national average, I want to say, dropped from around 7.5 to about 6 7/8 roughly this past week. So maybe there's some news of inflation starting to stabilize a bit. Anything that affects the markets is going to affect mortgage rates either up or down. And right now that was a positive direction. So With this one, take note of, you already saw probably already the property taxes flash up for Bergen County. It's relative to the location, because Bergen County is close to the city, and it's a suburb of New York City that does tend to have higher property taxes, but Paramus is very friendly, as I mentioned before, when it comes to property taxes. I'm gonna pan around just a little. You'll see that the entire neighborhood are colonials of various sorts and various sizes. This one is probably, from what I can tell, the smallest one, but this was a really bargain price for, or fair price. Let's just say it's fair. It wasn't a super inexpensive buy at 500, mid 500 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but you're buying into community, commute, and school district. So this gives a taste of that lower end of Paramus, and we're going to start to work our way up in the normal sequential order that I go from lowest to highest. So I'll see you at the next stop. Here we are at our next stop in front of 66. I don't know if it's Croton or Croton. English language can be a little tricky at times. But this was that next step up that I referred to from the first stop. This basically was listed at just shy of $840, sold at $875, was on the market less than 2 weeks. 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and again, look at taxes. Taxes is at $10,000 for this size of a property. You're not going to find that in many other areas, if any other area in Bergen County, at basically a high 800. Keep that in mind, high 800s, taxes at $10,000. Panning around, you can see this is at the end of a cul-de-sac with homes that are all pretty much comparable. This is kind of a split style home, and pretty much everything I see on this section of the cul-de-sac is also a split. These are larger splits. So this is like a lot of communities in Paramus. You'll have little side streets that kind of wind and dip, and some in cul-de-sacs, and it creates a real nice, quiet environment. And you're still not far away from Ford to hop into the city, or from the mall to shop or just have some leisure time. So these are some of those conveniences that come in, and of course you have an A-rated school district. So this again reflects that next step up. Now we're going to step into some of the millions, the first one being at 1.2, and get a little taste of what that price point looks like. All right, I'll see you there. Here we are at 196 Paul Court. This is our first of our 2 million plus properties. This one listed and sold at 1.2 million. It is 5 bedroom, 4 full bath, and was only on the market for 8 days. So we're talking a week, which means essentially they had an offer probably accepted almost right away. They may have had an open house, and that was it. This had a lot of upgrades done within the past 5 years. So going back to some of the points I've been making earlier on this episode, and definitely other episodes as well, is that when you have really updated and newer renovated properties, they're still going pretty quickly. All right, so this on a cul-de-sac as I pan around. Across the street, it seems to be a lot of water retention and that empty space right over here across the street. So it is likely that nothing will be built there. If you can see water resting, and we had a rainy day yesterday here in North Jersey, but nothing too extensive. But there's notably water still puddled. Saturation points in certain areas are worse than others. So at times, if the saturation of the soil doesn't drain very well in certain areas, it's just not going to bode well for building. Because as you can imagine, if you had a basement in a location like that, you would just have constant issues with moisture and water penetration. So this is very likely going to remain as is, a nice little quiet cul-de-sac area. And you can look down the street just a little and notice there's no building, no structures, not only on the cul-de-sac, but going back up the street a little ways as well. All right, so this Again, newer renovation, sold at ask, 8 days on market. And now we're going to take a look at the feature property. So just stick around till we get there. I'll see you there. Here we are at the final stop at 95 Crane. This is, pan up a little bit, give you full profile. This is a 6,300 square foot new construction right here behind me. So giving you an idea of what new construction in Paramus looks like, and there are a lot, and I do mean routinely new construction projects just like this throughout Paramus. I'll pan around a little bit so you'll see the rest of the neighborhood. What will happen is that a property that may have been a ranch or a split, and it, in all likelihood, this property right beside it, the ranch there, it likely was a ranch here that was totally knocked down and then built on an existing foundation. This was right here. With 6,300 square feet, that's going to include a finished basement as well. List price was at $2.195 million, sold at $2.25 million. 6 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, and it was on the market for just over 2 months. And oftentimes the stage of construction factors into how quickly the sale took place. In some instances, the property will go on the market still in the final construction stages where it's not fully finished yet. So yeah, that is certainly a factor that comes into play. This is a situation where the taxes will be assessed based on the sale price with the current tax rate. So there's not an accurate tax number on this property quite yet. All right, but this is an example. Again, $2 million, and does everything in the neighborhood match? Not necessarily, as I pan around again. However, that is not at all an odd thing in Paramus. It's not out of the norm, not out of the ordinary. It is rather ordinary in Paramus. But again, you're paying for your location ultimately. All right. So this gives you, again, a taste of some of that higher end. Do go to like a Compass.com or a Zillow or Redfin to take a look at some of those interior photos. Obviously, again, everything is new. I have had clients who are right next door in River Edge who were looking at Paramus for some time, who had a similar situation as this right here, building on existing foundation and obviously having a benefit of being in a new home but in an established neighborhood. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for joining again today. If you enjoyed, or you simply have been watching and have not subscribed, do click like, subscribe, and notification bell. Get the word out to many other people to be able to take in some of this content if they're looking to learn about New Jersey, already live here, or have lived here. I've had a mix of all three. Feel free to reach out to me, drop a comment, any questions, any add-ons, any particular insights, or even requests. Feel free to leave those, and I am still giving away t-shirts for free right now. So do make that request, and I'll reach out to you, connect, and make something, some kind of arrangements to get one to you. So in the meantime, stay safe, and I will see you the next episode.